Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would give you a little tour of the shop. Not so much this one, because this is just an old finishing area I used to use some years ago. So this is just where I'm doing my subframe and rear axle rebuild. Eventually I'm going to move out of this room and we're going to change it over to a guest room, I guess, or something. But that's going to be a little ways away. And obviously you've seen the garage lots of times in the videos. So I thought I would give you a little tour of the wood shop and, you know, kind of off little details of the cars today, but give you a tour of the wood shop and show you what setup I've got down there. Yeah, let's go. Well, first things first, this is still up at the garage, obviously. These are all the parts from the 6.3 and a few other assorted odds and ends from the SL and the other 2108s, tool cabinet, all that stuff, got all my tools. This is all the exhaust and drive shaft from the 6.3, which I've got to take to I got Sacramento Driveline. I'll be rebuilding that. I'll be in touch with them. They helped me with a Land Rover some years ago. That exhaust, I'm probably actually going to go with a stainless steel exhaust system, because why not while I'm in there. That's actually the rear torsion bar on the axle. Obviously air tank and a few other things that I'm getting ready to take down to the lower shop for blasting and prepping for paint, all that good stuff. Radiator's already been, you know, boiled out, and new cores and stuff in it. So anyway, that's how I'm trying to keep organised here. Well, here the rear air tanks, we're going to be moving on to those eventually in the coming weeks. Obviously my welder, you've seen that in a lot of the videos, turned out to be a really nice little welder. I went for the 110 220 version. I haven't even hooked up to 220 yet because I'm just doing lighter bodywork, but been a nice little welder. I've got it hooked up to the CO2 argon mix, so I'm not using it as a you know, flux core wire. I'm using solid wire with gas, so you get a better weld that way. Tell you what, when this is obviously a long ways away. I've been chatting with Salman on the group site about the seats and the colour and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a fan of the velour. This is actually in really nice shape, front and back seats. So what I think I'll do when I get to that stage, I will remove that velour, and that will probably be up for grabs at a very reasonable price, the whole kit, if I can get that off without damage. It seems to be in really nice shape. All the stuffing is all crunchy underneath, as they, you know, that horsehair stuff goes crunchy. Obviously that's got to be all taken care of, but I do want to go for leather instead of this velour stuff. Big 80-gallon air compressor. I bought that some years ago just because I knew I was doing this project and I needed something to keep up with all the air tools I knew I'd be using, and that's been great. I did have a little issue with the relief valve, but $30 valve, and then it's been working fine. So that's that's about 150 psi that runs at, and I've got a couple of lines coming out of it, and one at 90 and one at full 150. So that's that. Obviously this is the engine and the outside area. As you can see, I got this isn't welded in, this is positioned ready to start cutting in and getting it all. That's going to take a little while. I'll show you all that when I do it, because that's got to be spot on. No room for error on that at all. So let me close this up. I'll show you why, because it's still really smoky here from that recent river fire that unfortunately took over 80 people's homes and outside buildings and all that stuff. This, even though it looks like a scrapyard right now, this is some metal a friend gave me, which I'm going to use to make a body cart. So I'm going to cut that up all up and make a body cart out of that. And that black frame is what I'm going to do my engine stand for the 6.3. 6.3 sitting there, out of sight, out of mind for the moment, just because it's I've got plenty to do. So I'll take you for a walk down here. You can see how smoky it is. I think you can see in the camera, but really hot and muggy today. So here's my wood shop that I spend 8-10 hours a day in every day restoring antique furniture. There's my 68 there. I brought that down here as a safety for the other day because of the fires. It was a fair ways from us. I didn't really feel we're in too much danger, but you never know. It's my work van. that you've seen on rescue videos when we pull those cars out up the road here. So I built this shop. It's a little messy out here in a moment because we've been having a bit of a clear up. But I built this shop starting in 2017. The ladder's there, so I was on the roof the other day looking at that fire. But anyway, I built the shop in 2017, and 1,200 square foot shop. All permitted and all that, you know. Went through all the proper channels and stuff because you don't need any hassle, do you? So it's 40 by 30, and it's just been awesome. It really has. All my utilities come in here. I've got all my main power. That little skinny line is 110 to the shed, and that 2-inch line is literally a spare line that I run a string through in case we ever needed some, possibly putting solar on the building. And I figured that goes all the way up to the house, so they've got a channel all the way past that shed, all the way up to the house, dug into the ground. I figured while we had the trench open, we might as well throw as much stuff in there as possible. And then further down is the water for the building, and that other line there, I will tell you what that is in a minute. See that one? See the tap hose bib there? The one to the right. I'll tell you inside what that is. So let's go on inside. I don't know about you, but anytime I do staining and that, I always hang my rags out, stuff, let them dry out, and then once they're dry, I soak them in water as well, just for safety. Those are some shutters that have come off a old church down the road that I'm restoring, the church shutters, and so I'm rebuilding some new ones of those. These are some cedar doors I made. They're just plywood blanks, essentially, insulated and then sheeted out with solid cedar. They come out nice. I bought those hinge things off of Amazon. Anyway, so in we go. The light should turn on automatically, and it's lovely and cool in here because I've insulated the hell out of it. It's a 2x6 wall building, and it's got a radiant barrier up in the loft up there, so it really stays actually very nice and cool here. So sorry the shop's in a bit of a mess, but this is my crazy space I come to every day. I'm in kind of a frantic mode to get some stuff finished for delivery down to the Bay Area. That's all work in progress, and through that curtain there is some stuff that I'm French polishing. Yeah, I'm sorry about the mess, but anyway, I didn't have time to clear up for the video. Got some storage up top. That's the advantage of having 10-foot walls all around the shop. I can put stuff up high. That's been really nice to get little things off of the floor. Real benefit that is. Clamps and stuff. I'm still in actual move-in mode. I've been moving in for the last 18 months, 2 years, and you know, you get settled into a place and then you figure out what works, what doesn't, and make changes as you go. Nice old carved piece. I'm getting ready for someone, getting to restore that, go down to Napa. A few bits of wood here, swamp cooler thing that works okay, my dust collector, pellet stove, my table saw with a Incra table fence setup. Now obviously none of this is car related, is it? So anyway, I thought you'd like to see the wood shop, but let me take you over to my car area now. Surface planer. Another wood rack here, but this is kind of my dedicated area for my parts, you know, all the parts that have come off the car, you know, black parts, you know, that need blasting and cleaning off and repainting and replating, either zinc, the yellow chromate or the blue chromate. I did buy a blast cabinet the other week, and they're kind of rubbish straight out the box, so you do have to do some modifications. I put a water filter on there because you certainly don't want your media getting wet at all because it clumps up, and then an air regulator there. I added some better lights, and then a lot of people use shop vacs, but I've got it going into this cyclone collector here, and then my giant shop vac there, so I didn't need to put in a shop vac system. I've already got it all, a big one, all hooked up there. So let me show you what the lights look like. because the lights that come with it are really rubbish, but I think you can see in there. So I've got some parts starting to be done. Now the gun that came with it was rubbish again, so I ordered a new one from Eastwood. That should be here next week, and then I can start pressing on with doing the parts and getting that, because I don't like being out in this heat and all of the smoke of late. It's really miserable. So at least I can be down in a cool, nice space and get a lot of little fiddly things done. So that's my blast cabinet set up. And this you've seen before. This is all my zinc plating set up. Turn the light on here if you haven't seen it. So this is my degreasing bath. This is my DC rectifier. Then my zinc bath, rinse bath, pickle bath, and yellow cremate bath. Move that out of the way. These are the zinc plates that you immerse into the zinc solution, and these are sort of sacrificial. They get sucked from during the process and coating. That's that there. Nice view outside. Well, excuse the rubbish. I've got to do a dump run. So yeah, this is all ancillary things, bits and bobs, you know, to do with the plating. I'm still, like I say, organising myself. I want to put some cabinets along here, maybe my polishing wheel for polishing things and getting them ready for plating. So okay, so and then hang things up here to dry. So it's quite a nice space, you know, to do all this work on. You have your music and get on with it, you know. As I say, those are the parts all ready for painting and plating and what have you. Now one thing, those of you who have known me for a long time, you know I have a lot of projects on the go. Now this I've been working on for some time and just set it aside. What this is a center console that I'm making for the 280 SE. Now this has got a preliminary sealer on here. This is probably going to get stripped off because there's lots of reasons, but whatever. So this essentially I made from scratch, and whenever you see anything aftermarket put in a car, you want it to look like the car, you know, that it belongs there. Now we've got this lid here. Now obviously it's all going to be finished inside nice, blacked out, and all this polished with the same satin sheen as the 280. But as you can see, the design flows through, all the grain follows all up these curves and flows down, and then I'm going to have a piece of wood here with covered in vinyl and probably a chrome strip, and then the cup holders go in here like so, and then there's, like I say, there's going to be storage under here. And all this is going to get all blacked and nice, so that looks nice. And then here I have a little handle that I made to look like the 108 trunk. You can see the way the design is there, and that fits nicely into that plastic tray, and can be, as you can see, this is removable. Look at that. See those two holes there? That will screw straight in. So for those of you who were showing the car, for instance, you know, you could unbolt it and you know, show the car, then bolt this back straight in. It comes out in seconds because the underside follows the same contours. See that block there? That follows the same contours as the tray. Anyway, I will finish it one day, I promise. That'll be subject of a video. Now remember that line I told you about? That is an air line. So basically, I don't have to put up with listening to an air compressor down here. That air line is fed all the way underground, around 220 odd feet, all the way up to that air compressor at the house. So I've got essentially silent air down here. It's really nice. And obviously that amount of line acts as air storage as well, so it's added to the 80 gallons. I'm not sure how much it's put on, but that is 1/2 inch schedule 80 pipe. Now for those of you in the know, schedule 80 is the thickness of the wall of the pipe. It can withstand like 600 psi, and I'm only running at 150. So that comes in there and it branches off to the side here, and I blocked it off because I'm yet to send it all over the shop. So I can plumb into this side or the other side and send air all over the shop. Right now I've just got the flexi line, and there's my water behind there. So that is pretty much the wood shop. I'll quickly show you into the finishing area. I'm going to have, these are the doors I've been making for the church. And this is my finishing area. Been French polishing this cabinet that took a dive off the freeway and floated down the freeway for a few miles. And yeah, so this is my area. I do my painting work and finishing. And this is where I'll be bringing the parts to the car, the fenders, the hood, the trunk lid, the doors, all that, and I can finish in here and just take my time basically. This is like my clean room. I can get all this really clean in here and good for painting. So here are my finished guns here. This is what I'll be using on the car. This is a DeVilbiss with a 1.3 fluid tip and HVLP air nozzle, but I might increase the tip size to around 1.4, something like that, but the 1.3 might work. And then we've got the PPS system. Those of you in the know, that is a system, instead of having the pots that you have to clean out, these just bolt straight onto the top, and the inner liners can be just changed out. These are the inner liners. Makes it a lot less cleanup. Fireproof cabinet. Okay, nice American cabinet there. Well, so hope you like my little tour here. I know it's mostly about woodwork down here, but I thought you'd still like to see. I've done a few videos down here in time, but it's of interest to some people, I'm sure. As you can see, it's quite a nice place to work each day. Come down there, not a long commute, and very peaceful. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little tour of the workshop today. In my next video, I'm going to be moving on to the rear differential. I've already started filming some of that. What I'm planning on doing is having it as an ongoing side project. This, you know, is more straightforward, I think, the front, except I will need some input about lining up the kingpins and the top and lower repair kits, you know, to make it drivable so you can get it over to the alignment. I'm assuming you set it in some kind of central position, get it over to the aligner, and he have his way with it. So anyway, so that's a long ways away. Oh, I was going to tell you, the valves have been sent off to Australia for rebuilding, so they should be back in a month or so, I guess, maybe even longer than that. I'm not in any big hurry, as you know. We've got plenty to do before that comes on. And what else? Oh, in about 3 or 4 days, I expect to get those exhaust manifolds back from Oklahoma. They're being ceramic coated, and yeah, I'm excited to see those. So I might do an unboxing video on that. Bit of fun, you know. I'll show you what they look like before, and then we'll unbox them and see how they came out. Apparently, there's a substantial heat saving, you know, as far as bringing the heat down in the engine bay, which is going to be great. So yeah, look forward to that, and thanks a lot again for watching, and please hit like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye bye.